Hey there, everyone. This is Mystic Fish, and welcome to episode 15 of our Factorio Sushi Spectacular. Last episode, we set up yellow science, which we can see here. We researched rocket control units, which we can see the evidence of down here, showing that we did, in fact, produce yellow science and use it. And more importantly, we upgraded the base to blue belts all the way around, which is exciting. That will cut down on the round trip time for everything here. I think what we're going to do this episode, and this is pretty exciting, is let's go ahead and research the rocket silo. So in order to do that, we have to come back and plug in the additional demand that we disabled for, that gets our blue science in. All right, we can check that over here. That's not the right one, that one. Okay, we're asking for blue science. Very good. We also need purple science, which is this one. So we will connect the demand for purple science, and then we also need yellow science. Okay, so now taking a look at our demands. We are in fact demanding all 5 science types, so that looks good. Curious what the rates look like now. We are still only getting 3 science per minute. And that's just sort of the way it is. I think there's only so much that we can do here in terms of getting the throughput, at least with our current mechanisms for managing things. I have gotten some ideas for how we could sort of speed things up, and that involves recognizing that sort of the natural flow of things here around the belt. For example, just coming out of the, let's say, the copper mine. Well, obviously, the concentration of copper ore is going to be the heaviest coming out of here ordinarily, but it really only has to get as far as this, right? The copper smelting, which means that I think we can actually do better in terms of overall throughput, because the way that we're calculating the limits is assuming that there's sort of an even allocation of things over the whole belt. But I think the reality is we can have higher concentrations of some materials in some areas. But the other thing is that obviously, especially, and I think we saw this a little bit, we currently, when we turned off the science just to work on the blue belts, we really sort of upped how much of sort of some of the raw materials are. And so if we come over here, I set up this calculator here for trying to tell us which things are over provisioned. So that's the U, meaning these should be materials that our current supply exceeds the demand. And if we look down here at the output, there's a ton of extra stuff here. And not all of us really got used. Like, there's like stack inserters and regular inserters and red and green science. And like, we didn't use any of that while we were building blue belts. And so I actually think that going forward, there is a possibility for doing something a little more adaptive in terms of working out the actual demands that we want and really backing off if we're not using something temporarily because we're stocking something up in the mall, or actually, replenishing something in the mall is a good example, right? Where temporarily we may need a bunch of stuff, and once we've replenished our stack of stuff, we don't need it anymore. So I think we may want something that has a little more adaptive demand. I have some ideas about that, and but I think that's going to wait for another trip through. So this is obviously going to take a while. We have to wait for all of this stuff to come around and get researched and burning off sort of all of the extra gunk we have on here. I do think because we're producing yellow and purple science, and if we come take a look at this, we'll burn through all this stuff eventually. So stay tuned. I will let you know, and I will be back if anything interesting happens in the meantime. Other than that, we are just waiting for this research to finish, I think. Okay, we are, as you can see, halfway through researching the rocket silo. We are moving along here, chewing through stuff. Let's see. How are we doing over here? We have reduced a lot of counts down to sort of a more normalish level here. If we go take a look up here, we can now see over here that our oil processing is disabled by control behavior, meaning that we have enough, we're feeding out the backlog of light oil out of here, which is good stuff. We've actually moved to producing our solid fuel off of the light oil now, so that's good. And we are sometimes actually doing the light oil cracking. So we are really sort of normalizing the oil processing, which is what we want to see. And yeah, let's see what else is going on. Biter-wise, have cleared out a couple things that were getting close. Oh, we got somebody over here. We got a group of people going somewhere, so we'll go check that out. But otherwise, we are just waiting for the research to go through, and we'll be back. Hey there, we are back, and we have finished the rocket silo research. That is exciting. So now we have to actually acquire all the stuff for this. I think the biggest item we're going to need are blue circuits. So we're going to have to wait for 200 of those, which hopefully we are continuing to manufacture down here. Yes, so we're currently working on it. Looks like we have some backed up here, so that's useful. We can go grab those and put them in the box up here. Like so. Okay, what else is going on? I think that's about it. I have had to beat back a few biter expansions at a few spots, so we will have to just watch out for that. Let's take a look at evolution here. Okay, 0.67. So, interesting question, which is, do we think we can be done with research here? We can be done with research here, or we could potentially go snag these weapon upgrades. Now, I'm actually thinking we skip this stuff and we just go ahead and wait till we get a rocket silo, and then we set up the builds for producing the things for the rocket silo. So I think once this fills up with enough blue circuits to make a rocket silo, I suppose I should mention that if we come over here, I have actually set up some things to grab the electric engines and the steel. So shouldn't be too long before we can get the silo built. So stay tuned. Okay, let's see, how are we doing here? We do have our 200 blue chips, so that is good stuff. We'll build ourselves a rocket silo shortly. But what I have gone and done is I've set up the next set of demand inputs for building rocket parts. And so I've shot for, hey, what would be the equivalent production for 45 signs per minute, except that I'm going to ignore satellites and yeah, basically going to ignore satellites. So, and that's really just to get at these relative ratios here, which I have now gone and populated onto these things here, which means that we can plug in this demand in here. And I think it means we can disconnect all of the science. So we don't need blue science anymore. Let's see, we don't need purple science anymore. We don't need yellow science anymore. I guess we'll leave. Do we need this stuff anymore? Does our base stuff include some of that? It does not. So I'm just going to remove the science like that. And we'll go with that for the rest of this. Okay. So what does that look like demand-wise? We should be looking for RCUs, LDS, and rocket fuel, which we are. So that's good stuff. Okay. Good. That is going. Let us come and collect these stuff for the rocket silo, for which we need pipes. Wow, pipes. Haven't had to grab those in a little while. All right, where are you at, pipes? Here you are. Pipes. Stack of pipes. I should also mention that I did set up a concrete build while I was waiting for the rocket silo research to work. Just to illustrate, this is very similar to stuff we've seen before. Unbarreling the water in here and grabbing everything else, which makes for pretty easy grabbing of concrete. I guess we don't really need this stuff too much anymore. Let's see. Let's grab ourselves the electric engines, and we also need steel. Okay, that lets us make a rocket silo. Look at that. All right, where are we going to stick this thing is an excellent question. I'm thinking we can actually stick it over here somewhere. I wonder, I actually want to make a bunch of these. I want to make the productivity module 3s. Although I guess we can make those as we're going. Sure. Let's do that. Okay, so that means we can just start with the old rocket silo here. And then I guess we've got to give you some power. I guess what we can do is we can get stack filter inserters. We can say, let's hook you up over here. So as we pick stuff up, we'll say none but read hand contents, and you are going to pick up RCUs. And you are going to pick up LDS. And you are going to pick up rocket fuel. Okay. That looks good. Let's see. We will want some... We need to make, to get the prod module 3s, we need a bunch of blue chips. How much we got in here? All right, not very many, so we'll come back for that. Okay, that looks good. So what do we need to do? We need to make ourselves some rocket fuel. Sure, rocket fuel. All right, what is that going to look like? Let's get ourselves like this. We're gonna need one of these guys again. Maybe multiple. Let's see what does our rates look like on rocket fuel. You are producing 3 rocket fuel per minute. And how much does one of these do? If we put some of these in, no, that's not right. You're gonna make, rocket fuel. And we're gonna put those in there, and your rate is 1.45. So, wow, we actually need like 4 of these. Okay, that's good to know. All right, let's get another one of these in here. All right, good. All right, I guess you will be unboxing the light oil. You will be making the rocket fuel. Those connect. Okay, that looks good. Let's get our power poles in. All right. All right, let's see. You are going to want 15, so that's let's see. What are you going to need? You consume 15. Let's see. I guess we'll do this with proper demand here. Let's get a demand guy. We do need to connect the wires here. Okay. Let's see. You are going to want you know what? I changed my mind. Let's just put this back. All right, so we'll just have you grab minus 15 of those, and what would we say we needed? 1 barrel. Whoops. Light oil, 1 barrel. All right, so you want -1. Let's get 3 in there. Let's just store some up, and let's make this -45. Okay. All right, that means you're getting the light oil like you want, so that's good. You are going to put the empties back out, which means we don't need this, and you're going to have none. Okay. All right, you are asking for the solid fuel, so that's good. You are going to stick that stuff out. Good, that's all we need for you. Oh, I don't have any. I need some blue belts. Okay. Let's fill in the rest of this. All right, copy, paste. Copy, paste. All right. Copy, paste. Copy, paste. All right. All right, now we fill in the rest. All right. Disconnect this. Copy, paste. Let's put the empty barrels back, and then the last bit. All right, you need these. Okay, that looks right. All right, I think that is the rocket fuel, so that's good stuff. All right, next, let's see, what should we do next? We already have LDS, so that's okay. Actually, let's figure out how many LDSs we need. We're going to produce 3 LDS per minute. So if we make those, that's not right. LDS. And we put the prod modules in. And we ask what's your rate. Okay, so we have enough of those already. So then what do we need? We need rates, 3 speed modules per minute and 3 RCUs per minute. So if we change this to RCUs, then we need 3, so we'll need 4 things making RCUs. That's fine. And then if we change this to the speed modules, 1 is enough. So as long as we've got 2 things making speed modules, we'll be in good shape. Okay. All right, so let's get ourselves, we're gonna need 2 more mall builds, I guess. No, not malls. Let's do these. That will let us plunk in the, all right, I think that's what we want. All right, these are going to be speed modules, and we do not need these. And we won't need these either. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get our power poles in. All right, let's connect our signals in. All right. These are going to be the speed modules. So, speed module, speed module. Guess we'll put these guys in here. Oh, we didn't get our modules in here. Let's see. We will need more efficiency modules here for this stuff. Thank you. All right, let's see. Efficiency modules in all of the unbarreling. And then prod modules in the rocket fuel. All right, we did those. Fill this stuff in. Okay, actually, let's get our demand guy. All right, you consume 15 red circuits, 15 green circuits. All right, and then you go from here into there. And then we need to hop across to the other guy. So from here to there. That means we can change this to be speed modules. All right. Fix you and fix you. Okay, that's the speed modules. And then the last thing we have are the RCUs. Okay. You are going to be RCUs. And product modules. Let's fill all this stuff in. Ooh, I don't have lights. Can I make some? I can. The question is, do I have enough materials to finish this? It appears that I do. Okay, then we need a demand guy. So we'll stick it there. Sure. All right, you need 2 speed modules, 2 blue circuits. 2 of you and 2 of you. And then you go from here into here. And then we need to hop across from here to here to here. All right, that means you need to become RCUs. All right, and then we just got to turn the inserters. Okay, so there's that. And then I think we just send ourselves this way. All right. I think that should do it, folks. So, so let's see. I guess for right now, we can get some productivity modules in over here. Can I make any of these? Not unless I get red and blue circuits. All right, but I'm about to be using all my red and blue circuits. So that's okay. All right, we are gonna wait and see how things progress here. Ooh, we gotta go deal with some of these guys over here. So, all right, we'll go deal with those guys, and then we'll be back, and hopefully we'll be producing some rocket parts by then. All right, stay tuned. All right, just want to take a little check-in on progress. A few things have been going on. First, let's go take a visit to the rocket silo over here. And let's see, what did I do? I did set up some steel chests so that we can pull those things off, including subtracting them when we pick them up. And these are all connected, good. Like I said, we've done 17%, so that's good stuff. We're currently waiting on low density structures. I did go and I just handcrafted 4 productivity module 3s. That's going to cut down on the amount that we have to work on. Let's see. The other things that I did were I came up here, I added some additional builds for the green circuits. As you can see, we're still buffering copper cable up here, so all the copper is still being eaten here by the copper cable and production, and so, but once this buffers up, then more copper will get through. That's currently what the low density structures are waiting on mostly. Looks like they're also waiting on steel, so we may have to go debug that at some point and figure out who's using all the steel. It doesn't look like anybody up here is really using that, so I don't know. Good question where the steel is at, that we're still looking for some. Let's see, do we have some on here? It says we have 80 on the wire, so I guess we'll have to wait till some of that comes around. Okay, what else? I did beef up the production of red circuits up here. As you can see, these are now working. We still need to get some plastic buffered down here. Basically filling all the buffers at this point. What else did we do? I did add a second build for blue circuits. And otherwise, I think that's it. Let's look at the buffers on the blue circuits. These are full. These are waiting on red circuits. Let's see, map-wise, last thing that I did was I also built a copper outpost. It was clear that with all the circuit production, we were going to be pretty hungry for copper. And so I built an outpost out there because we don't have that much copper ore left over here. So, so we did that. What is this down here? That looks like an expansion group, which we should actually just go take care of. I guess I'll bring you along for that ride quickly. This should be fine. It looks like it is largely spitters, so this should be fine. Just clear these guys out. Okay, nice. Let's see. Otherwise, I did go around. I did do a round of, hey, clean out some biters that were nearby. I did leave the worms in. I think that means it's less likely. So like these are just worms here. I think that means it's less likely that expansions show up near those guys. So So we'll see how this works out. What else is close? These are just worms. These are just worms. Okay, so we're still watching the pollution. It's definitely spreading some more out this direction. This is a worm. These are worms. This has actual nests in it. These are worms. So, I went around, I left the worms in, and see if that deters some of the expansions, but we'll see. It is going to be, I think, a race between, let's just check evolution. Can we, all right, 0.69. Behemoth biters don't show up till 0.9. We're plenty far away from that. So I do think our current armaments are going to be fine for the rest of launching a rocket. We just got to wait for these buffers to fill in. And so I will be doing that. I'll be waiting for it, and I'll let you know if something interesting happens. All right. See you soon. All right, we are back, and if we take a look up here, we've actually managed to fill up the copper buffers up here for the copper wire, so that's good stuff. Part of the thing that helped with that was I actually added some more copper smelting here so that we have the same number as we have for iron, and so that's definitely keeping up with all of the copper ore we're putting on. And as a result, we are actually getting some copper through here to the LES, which means that we are in the process of making forward progress here. And so we're up to 28%. And I think things will go a little faster from here, but stay tuned, and I'll let you know when we get close to launching a rocket. Hey, we are back, and as you can see, we are actually super close to launching a rocket. So what's been going on in the meantime? Well, one thing that I did was I set up another set of refineries here for advanced oil processing. We're running short on light oil just to generate enough electricity. Was using all of the solid fuel and light oil and so on, so we needed that to unblock the rocket fuel. And the other thing that's been going on is that I've been fending off biters who have been expanding into the pollution cloud. So you can see there are some leftover worms from a couple of places that I took out, but we are super close here. Last couple low density structures, and we'll be able to launch a rocket here, folks. Hard to believe, but we actually did it. We did it with a single continuous sushi belt for the whole way, all the way up from the very low-level sciences all the way up here to launching a rocket, which we'll be able to do right now. And, of course, the only possible thing that we can do here. Let's see if we get an opportunity here as we prepare the rocket silo. There we go. I think it's only fitting that since this is a sushi spectacular, that we finish things off by sending some sushi, in other words raw fish, into space. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let's get that going. And let's enjoy our victory here. So this is pretty cool. I was actually a little closer than I thought. And we did have to end up fending off the biters a little more than I was comfortable with towards the end. But there we go. Launched a rocket. And, of course, got a nice little achievement along the way. So that's fun. But I think super interesting style. It does seem like this basic demand calculation stuff that we set up here, carving off what we need for generating power and so on, seem to work pretty well. Prior attempts I've made at this did not have these buffers that we've been using for things like these demand calculations and so on, in order to build up a buffer of ingredients to help us out. So I think that was sort of a big win for us. And yeah, I think it's pretty good. I'm a little inclined to maybe take a run at maybe a bonus episode of doing some things in creative mode to see if we can max out the throughput a little bit more. A couple ideas I have for that are using assembly machine 3s and obviously productivity module 3s in order to, we already saw we got a bonus from the productivity modules because it meant we need less space on the belt for the downstream materials. So I think that could help. I think making liberal use of beacons with efficiency modules is another interesting thing to look at to reduce the overall power consumption of the base. That means that we need less space on the belt for fuel for burning. And then the last thing that I'm kind of interested in looking at is whether we can do something that's a little more adaptive. So, the way that we did the demand calculations up here was really based on something that, is like assuming everything is evenly distributed along the belt. But, as you can see, actually, here's a good example. The composition of stuff that's coming out here, right? I see a lot of like copper plates, solid fuel, things like that. Down here, we've got a lot more ores because those are coming in from the outposts and so on. And so I think that's a little hint that different parts of the belt can have different sets of stuff on it, which means that I think the overall throughput we can get is potentially higher than what we're getting here. So I don't know, interesting stuff to explore, but those will definitely be problems for future Mystic Fish. So I hope you've enjoyed this Factorio Sushi Spectacular. I did. I thought it was interesting, even though I did quite a bit of waiting around here towards the end for us to get all the rocket parts assembled. But I did the waiting, so you don't have to. So as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Until then, bye.